Now, the big question for a lot of people who like playing Dungeons and Dragons and don't sometimes get the opportunity to meet up and do so is to have ChatGPT play the role of the Dungeon Master. Now, I've seen lots of videos on YouTube where this has been attempted to varying degrees of success, and in many ways it does depend on the type of prompt that you put into GPT. Well, I found a very interesting prompt on Reddit, and I might include a link to the prompt, and I've been using it over the last couple of days to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I've actually found it quite an interesting experience, and I just wanted to share some of this with you right now. So I've actually already started a campaign. If we just go over to where I am currently, you can see I'm a level 1 ranger called Kaylin. There's my stats. I'm currently walking with a companion. We're going into a forest called the Glade's Heart. We've even got the time. We've even got a list of items that we've picked up along the way. So I'm just going to play this for a few minutes, and then you can give me a bit of feedback in terms of what you think of the experience. So off we go. So what am I going to do now? Shall I continue immediately into the corrupted heart of the forest, ask Maeve questions before moving on, or end the session? I'm actually going to continue into the forest, so I'll just paste that option in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so about 30 minutes later. Ooh, dimly lit, unnaturally quiet. Maeve stands brushing the moss from her robes. Her staff glows faintly as she parts the willow curtain. Path won't be climbed. The heart has twisted everything that once grew in balance. The trees no longer sleep, they remember. You and Maeve descend deeper into the woods. The air grows colder. Branches above tangle so tightly they block the sun. The roots beneath your feet pulse faintly with greenish veins like corrupted lifeblood. You cross an ancient stone arch, half swallowed by earth. Eldath's symbol, barely visible, has been scratched away and replaced by something else. A jagged spiral of thorns and eyes. Maeve hisses. That mark does not belong, fey or worse. So we're in some corrupted glade interior. Trees lean inward, their bark split like gritted teeth. Strange moss-covered statues stand scattered, some clearly once human. A pool of water lies ahead, its surface black and still. You feel a low vibration in your bones, like a heartbeat not yours. Now, the interesting thing with this prompt is that obviously it does all the checks, the dice rolls on our behalf. I've noticed that they all tend, for the most part, to be successful. So I'm doing a wisdom, survival / perception check to safely navigate or spot threats. Would you like Kaylin to roll for survival, roll perception, ask Maeve something, approach the black pool, or something else? I think I'm going to roll for perception. I'm going to do that. There's got to be more to this than I can see. And will I be successful? Let's see. I needed I got 21, so I seem to be okay. Kaylin halts, raising a hand, the air shifts and he sees it. A faint shimmer in the canopy above, the outline of a web, but not from a spider, from any spider rather. Its threads glow faintly green and they pulse in time with the heartbeat-like vibration on the foot. To the left, near the statue of a weeping woman, a root bulges, almost like a coiled serpent beneath the earth. And beside the black pool, a patch of flowers, vibrant purple with black-tipped petals, called death blossoms. He remembers their effect, airborne spores that paralyze prey or carrion feeders. This is not good. Maeve whispers beside him, impressed. You see it too. The forest doesn't just want to scare you, it wants to trap you. Smart. So we've got a few environment hazards identified, predatory vine traps, buried root beasts, and toxic flowers. What are we going to do? Attempt to safely cross the pool, set fire to the flower patch, ask Maeve to use magic to suppress the corruption, search for another path deeper into the heart. Well, I've got Maeve with me and she has a staff. Let's see if she can do something. I'm going to put this one in. Let's see if we're successful. I'm asking the question, can you suppress this corruption, at least enough to get us through? Maeve narrows her eyes at the pulsing veins and the death blossoms swaying unnaturally despite the still air. She plants her staff into the moss and exhales slowly. I can weaken its grip, but only briefly. The heart resists now. It fights back. She traces a circle of runes into the air, speaking words in Sylvan, the tongue of the old groves. So Maeve is going to cast something called Nature's Rebuke. The effect is temporary, over a radius of 20 feet for 1 minute. It uses a druidic focused charge, and the roll has been successful. So great. The forest holds its breath. Maeve slams the butt of her staff into the ground. A wave of green light spreads across the clearing. The shimmering web above dissolves into mist. The bulky roots sink slightly into the earth and the death blossoms wilt, their black pollen evaporating into harmless dust. The area ahead clears, revealing the true source of the pulsing. In the center of the black pool, a raised root platform holds a cracked stone altar wrapped in thorn vines. Upon it rests a heart-shaped knot of wood, pulsing green and black like a dying organ. Maeve hisses through her teeth. The heart of the glade, still alive, but barely. Now I knew I'd be facing this decision. Do I approach? Do I inspect? Ask Maeve how to cleanse it? Use an item? Trying to remember what the pendant of Eldath actually does. Prepare for combat or something else. Now Maeve's done a good job so far, so I want to ask and find out, is there any way to cleanse this corruption? So I'm going with that. Let's see what happens. So I approach, eyes fixed on the dying heart-shaped knot pulsing with sickly green and black energy. Maeve says, voice low but firm, if there's a way to cleanse it, now's the time. Maeve approaches beside him, staff in one hand, pendant in the other. Her face is grim. This is no ordinary blight. The heart is bound. Something rooted deep in the Feywild has laid claim to it. She kneels, touching the ground. To cleanse it, we'll need 3 things. A symbol of balance, a spark of natural flame, and blood freely given. She looks directly at Kaelin. That's you, Ranger, half-elf, chosen by neither world but welcome in both. That's why the heart called. Grips her staff tightly. You can do this. Place the pendant. Ooh, so it does have a use. On the altar, I'll call the flame. All you must do is offer the blood. I really don't like the sound of that. So, we've got a choice now. Do we want to cleanse the heart? Do you wish for Kaelin to proceed with the ritual and cut his palm for the blood offering? Ask more about the Feywild corruption, use magic, or check for traps before approaching. Refuse and look for something else. I'm I'm going to throw caution to the wind, although this is not being cautious. I'm going to check for traps before approaching the altar, because I do trust, what's her name again? Maeve, that's it. I do trust Maeve, but we're going to just do a check for traps. So, before I put anything on that altar, Kaelin mutters, I want to make sure it doesn't bite back. He kneels and inspects the area, hands lightly brushing the moss and soil. So, we're doing a check. We're doing an intelligence check there, which seems to be successful. Kaelin studies the altar carefully beneath the visible vines, hidden just under the bark-like surface of the root structure. He finds tiny etched runes, partially obscured. They're binding glyphs, but not druidic. They're Fey in origin, designed to snap shut like a bear trap when a ritual starts. Wow. Likely intended to drain the life force of the one offering the blood, not cleanse anything. This isn't just a ritual focus, Kaelin mutters. It's a trap. Maeve's eyes widen, so the corruption anticipated a cleansing and prepared for it. Clever. She leans on her staff grim. The ritual can still work, but those glyphs must be dispelled or broken first, or you'll feed the corruption instead of ending it. So, what to do? Ask Maeve to dispel the Fey binding, risking backlash. Attempt to disable the glyphs yourself, roll Arcana or Sleight of Hand. Use the Pendant of Eldath as a warding focus to suppress the glyphs. Destroy the altar entirely, which may have consequences, or something else. What if I attempted to disable the glyphs? I'm going to try this. Because I've got that Pendant of Eldath, I might as well try and use it. So let's see if we're successful. So I draw the Pendant of Eldath, the silver disc warm in my hand. It's engraved waterfall glowing faintly with gentle divine light. Kaelin glances at Maeve. If this thing is really blessed, let's see if peace can still hold its ground here. Maeve nods and begins softly chanting in Sylvan, wearing a protective aura with her staff to support the pendant's energy. So I'm doing a wisdom check. Again, it seems to be successful. Kaelin steps forward and places the pendant carefully onto the cracked altar. At first, silence. Then the glyphs beneath the surface twitch, reacting to the presence of divine energy. Vines writhe, thorns curl inward. The corrupted green glow begins to flicker, repelled by the pendant's radiance. Maeve raises her staff. Now, the ward is holding, the glyphs are suppressed. The altar no longer pulses hungrily. For the moment, the trap is inert, so the path is clear. Maeve gestures urgently. Place your hand on the altar, speak your intent aloud, offer the blood. Do this and the heart will decide. So again, I'm going to do it and see what happens. Let's just check the options. Proceed with the ritual. Say something specific as Kaelin's intent, restore balance. Yeah, ask Maeve one last question before continuing, back out. I'm going to go with this one. Say something specific so I know exactly what I'm asking for. Reclaiming the wild. Kaelin slowly takes a slow breath, the pendant's light glinting across his face. The forest watches, silent but not still. He draws his dagger, not in anger but with purpose. He places one hand on the cracked altar, now subdued under the pendant's grace, and slices his palm with the blade. Blood drips onto the wooden heart. He closes his eyes. I do not come for glory or vengeance, he says quietly. I offer this blood to restore balance. Let rot retreat and peace take root. In the name of the grove and of the goddess who listens, the blood strikes the altar with a hiss. What's going to happen? The vines recoil and the air pulls inward like a breath held by the forest itself. The altar glows, then cracks completely. The heart of wood splits down the middle and begins to bloom, pulsing golden white instead of green. A sudden rush of wind howls outward from the pool, cleansing, alive. The trees straighten, the bark losing its thick hue, the death blossoms crumble, and the black water turns crystal clear. I get the feeling it's been successful. A distant chorus of birds returns. First one, then many. Maeve exhales, overwhelmed. You did it. The glade is awakening. Or waking, sorry. So, there's my campaign milestone. I've cleansed the heart of the glade. I've gained 200 experience points. Kaylin's total is right there. And I've leveled up to level 2 as a ranger. Would you like to guide Kaylin through the level up process now? HP increase, new features, or continue the story as the forest begins to recover? Also, would you like a session summary so far? I'll get a session summary, so I'll just put that in for now, just again to give you a sense of what we've achieved, because I really do like this. So that's the title of the campaign, The Shattered Veil. A corrupted region once ruled by druidic circles, now poisoned by Feywild influence. The theme is survival, nature versus corruption. So I went through the silent village by myself, the outskirts and rest, and then scene 3, the corrupted glade, and we've just cleansed the glade over the last few minutes. And that's the equipment that I've got. Pendant of Eldath, that was very important. Maeve's note. Follow the sun west until the trees begin to weep. That's how I found my way into the glade, and I've got a healing kit. So I've leveled up. Anything that's on resolve, that's what we've got. What would I like to do? Now, I haven't gone through the level up process, so it might be interesting to see what that entails based on how this prompt works. So level 2 ranger, level up step by step according to D&D 5e rules. So I've done a roll, added the modifier, so HP, my hit points 18, is that what that says? I'll go with that. Class feature, favored enemy. Not going to change that. Favored terrain is currently forest, that's fine. Class features, level 2, +2 for archery, +1 for defense, +2 for dueling, 2 weapon fighting. I can add the ability modifier to change offhand attacks. That's all fine. I've got some new spells here, which I'm all happy with. I won't bother going through all of that. If you know your D&D 5e, you'll know what all of that is about. These are some of the popular options for a Ranger 2, level 2 I should say, some of the spells that are normally a part of that character. Let me know which 2 spells you'd like Kaylin to know. What shall I go with? I'm going to go with Hunter's Mark and Cure Wounds. Just type that in. And that will just update my character now. So you can see that the prompt, and it is a very detailed prompt to help identify how this game plays in ChatGPT. Current quests, yes. You're now ready for level 2 challenges with magic, improved melee, and healing capabilities. So I've got the opportunity to continue the story, save this as a formatted character sheet file. I don't want to do that because the way I've been doing it is that I've just been going back to ChatGPT and just picking up where I've left the story. So I'm actually going to stop at this point because, as I said, the purpose of this video was just to give you a sense of how good it can actually be when you are playing Dungeons and Dragons within ChatGPT. Now, like I said, the prompt for this is quite complex, but I'll have it in the description section of this video. So if you want to try it for yourselves, then please do, and let me know how you're finding the experience. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.